If you've been around my channel for a little bit, you know that I typically don't do gear review videos. I am someone who I don't really look into the aspects of gear, and it's just not something that I'm super into. I typically just use what gets the job done or whatever I feel most comfortable using, what I like to use. The whole nitty-gritty of it is just not my cup of tea, but every once in a while I make a video that is about gear. A while back I made a video talking about what I keep in my camera bag for portrait work, and I've been working with video with a certain gear setup for a year and a half now, and I've never sat down to talk about what it is that I like to use. I have been working on video projects here and there for a few years now. I have a very simple, minimal bag when it comes to video work. I use the same camera that I use for my photo work. I use a Canon EOS 80D. I know it's not the most spectacular video camera. I know I should probably be using something maybe mirrorless or something with more megapixels, but for me, it gets the job done. It's the camera that I know and love, and the video work that I've been able to produce with it has been great in my opinion. The step into video using a camera that I'm familiar with has just made it easier for me. I would love to eventually upgrade for video work. I have no idea what camera that looks like. I haven't really thought too much about it because this camera has been serving me so well, and I'm not working on client work with videos. My video projects are lots of passion projects and lots of collaborative projects. So yes, that is the camera that I use. Not much to say about that, quite honestly. So let's talk about the main meat of my bag. My film bag is pretty much just for my gimbal. I carry everything for it because I'm terrified of not having something for it. There have been times where I've worked on video projects and I use someone else's camera and it's been a Sony, or it may have been a Sony or another brand of camera, so I needed the certain adapter for that specific camera. So I just carry everything for the gimbal in this bag. It's a little cumbersome having to bring two different bags to a shoot site, but I would rather be prepared than not have everything. So the gimbal that I use is the Weebill by Zhiyun. I'm so sorry. I've never heard someone say the brand name, but yes, that is the gimbal I use. I have used my friend's Ronin in the past when I was first starting to get into video work, and I found that it was really heavy and I would have to use it, like prop it up on my stomach, and my arms and abdominals were just so sore after a few hours that I knew when I invested in a gimbal of my own that it needed to be something a little more lightweight. My camera is already on the heftier side compared to some mirrorless cameras that are out there, even though mine's not mirrorless. But it was already going to add some weight to whatever gimbal I was using. So I really tried to find a gimbal that was lightweight, and I came across this one, and I watched a couple of review videos talking about it and decided that that was going to be the one for me. I have to say I'm quite happy with it. I used my friend's mirrorless Sony on it, and I don't know if I messed up the calibration for trying to get my gimbal to read that camera, or if that camera was just simply too lightweight for it, but for that shoot it was a little cumbersome, but we were able to make it work. We got it done. But that was really the only time that I've struggled with using it. Anytime that I put my camera on it and I get it all set up, it's really given me no problems. It's very simple to use. It's not too difficult to balance or get calibrated for whatever camera it is that I have on there. It took me a little bit to get the hang of balancing my camera, and as I've used it more, I've gotten pretty good about balancing pretty quickly over time. Not too hard. I really love that it has a detachable tripod. Makes it super easy, so that way I don't always have to take it off, put it on a tripod, take it off the tripod, put it back on. Kind of saves on some time. I can't always use it depending on the shot that I'm wanting, but to have it as an option has been wonderful. That was another thing that I was looking for when investing in a gimbal. I wanted something that had that. I don't know a lot of the like nitty-gritty specifications when it comes to gimbals. I've only used the Ronin that my friend has, and I can't even tell you the specific model of it. And then I've used this one. So my experience is very limited. I don't really have a plan of upgrading it at this time. I'm really happy with it. It's working fantastic. And honestly, the only critique I have is against myself for not pulling it out nearly enough. That covers my camera, my gimbal, and all that's left is my lighting. For lighting, very easy or very simple, just newer LED lights. Not the most powerful. They're super lightweight. There have been times where I'm filming on location. We filmed at an arcade once and we couldn't for the life of us figure out where the light switch for the overhead lights were. I thankfully brought my light and we were able to light the scene. I love that it has different modifiers. And for that one, because they aren't super powerful lights, I went ahead and didn't put on a modifier, and we had a little bit of film grain still. It was way better than having to shoot in the dark. So very handy, very lightweight, easy to transport. I can put them on a lightweight light stand. The battery life, when it's at full power, they go out super quick. And I wish there was a way that I could adapt them to plug in to the wall. It would have been really nice to have had that option when we were in the arcade, because I was so paranoid about pushing it and having the batteries go out. So thankfully I had one on the charger and the other one going just in case. With the modifiers, you can change the temperature of the light. There's a really easy little, what is that called? Wheel. There's a little wheel on the side that you can adjust the power. They're very simplistic. I would love to eventually get some more powerful lights, but I don't do enough video work outside of YouTube to really warrant that just yet. And I actually am missing audio for my setup because I don't ever film things like that. So when I do splurge on another piece, it's not going to be for lights. It's going to be for audio for sure. One day, I would love to get something that maybe has a plug-in where it can run on battery or plug into the wall. Maybe something a little bit bigger. My friend has, I believe they're newer lights, but they have barn doors on them and they're bigger, and I think they have, you can control the temperature a little bit more. They're a little bit pricier than what these lights are, so maybe in the future. I love my little lights. They get the job done by very simplistic, minimal lighting setup. But that is my camera bag whenever I am working on creative projects. But that is my camera bag whenever I am working on creative projects or here for YouTube. That's pretty much what I use. I don't always use my gimbal for YouTube. I don't think I actually have yet. It's kind of hard to do when you're a one-woman show. Maybe one day that can happen. But that is all that I have for you today. I know it's not the most in-depth. That's never my intention with gear videos. It's mostly just to talk about my experience with certain things, and so that way I can document and look back on whenever I upgrade and grow and all that jazz. Sorry if you were wanting something a little bit more in-depth. That's just not what we do here. I hope that you enjoyed nonetheless, getting a little look into my film bag that I've never shown before. I hope you have a super lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to see more of my face, you can subscribe, leave a like, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye.